is what we mean when we say that men are homosocial, and this is why there is such a big gap at the moment between men and women.
I'm Riley. I'm 24. I'm from Houston, Texas. And honestly, I'm down for any good adventure. I just got scuba dive certified and I'm planning to go to Australia this summer, so I'm super excited about that. And then I just picked up skiing like 2 years ago, and I honestly love any themed party. Like, those are like my favorite things to go to, my favorite things to plan. And I'm looking for someone that wants to be my adventure buddy, and it's someone that I can trust in and is gonna be there for me.
Aww.
If any gentleman would like to get to know Riley more, please step forward.
They're nervous. They're
Come on,
scared.
guys.
Ooh, they're so scared. Come on.
Hey Riley, we're gonna have you sit down, but thank you for introducing yourself.
The men made it clear they could not care less about Riley. They were not actively listening to her, and if they were judging her. They were all just looking at each other, trying to figure out what the best response would be, how they should react. And what did they choose? They chose to sit there and laugh. They chose to act like mean little bullies. The concept of homosociality describes and defines social bonds between persons of the same sex. It is, for example, frequently used in studies on men and masculinities. In an attempt to emphasize heterosexuality, fear or hatred of homosexuals and misogynist language are developed. The concept is often used to analyze how men, through their relationships and social bonds with other men, construct power blocks and protect male territory and privilege. I have no doubt that if all of these men were separate and listening to Riley, at least one of them would have shown interest in her, would have been behaving completely differently, appropriately perhaps. But in front of each other, they decided to make her feel small, unheard, and belittled. And that is the difference between men and women. The women were actively listening to her. There was zero judgment. They made sure she felt okay and supported when she sat back down. You can tell that all of these girls just thought Riley was cool. Any one of these girls would have been happy to have Riley as a friend. Perhaps some of the men thought she was cool too, but they decided to put theirs and each other's egos first.
Now, is there truth in that? Partly. Group dynamics do change behavior. Men often mirror each other, play it cool, avoid being the first to show interest. There's a pack mentality and vulnerability gets buried under sarcasm or silence. So yes, in a one-on-one setting, someone might have actually been intrigued. But let's also look at her approach. She's clearly cool, scuba diving, travel plans, energy, but she came in already booked. Mentioning a summer trip to Australia isn't just casual travel. It's expensive, time-consuming, and implies she's already moving forward with her life without room for someone new. That's not a green light. It's a red flag for many men who hear, you're not looking for a partner, you're looking for a plus one, if you even have space. And let's be honest, niche interests like scuba diving or elaborate theme parties are awesome, but they're also high barrier. Most guys haven't done it, can't afford it, or don't know how to relate. So when she leads with that, it's not just sharing, it's filtering out without offering a bridge. If she'd said, I love adventure, I just got my scuba license and I'm planning a trip, but I'd love to explore new things with someone, that leaves room for connection. As it stood, it felt more like a resume than a relationship pitch. And about the men laughing, yes, some looked dismissive, but others seemed nervous, caught off guard, unsure how to respond to such a high-energy opener. Silence doesn't always mean disrespect. Sometimes it's just processing. And while the commentators' call-out has weight, calling them all homosocials and assuming malicious intent might be too extreme. Not every glance is mockery, not every laugh is ridicule. At the end of the day, she's a strong woman with passions, and that's great. But in dating, how you present yourself matters. Lead with openness, not just achievements. Leave space for someone to step in, not just follow you. Because adventure is exciting, but shared adventure, that's connection.
So what's your sign?
So I'm looking for someone who's also financially stable and not has to work a 9 to 5 every day to live their life.
You have to have at least 3 cars under your name. Your second car has to have 8 seats because I have 3 kids. So I want them to be comfortable whenever we go with you on a trip or something. You want me to come with you? I'm gonna bring my kids, and you need to have enough space for my kids. So
It's just my finances.
This is why dating feels nearly impossible for so many men today. You're not just expected to be emotionally mature, respectful, and present. You also have to be fully ascended in life, financially independent, emotionally available, vehicle equipped, house ready, and open to raising someone else's children, all before proving you're even a good fit. And if you're still building, still grinding, still figuring it out, you're not seen as a partner, you're seen as ineligible. Now, there's nothing wrong with wanting stability, wanting someone who can handle responsibility. That's fair. Wanting a man who loves your kids, essential. But the assumption that a good man should already have it all and be ready to absorb your entire world without hesitation, that's where it becomes less about love and more about access. And let's be honest, most men aren't trying to avoid commitment. They're scared of being judged, not for who they are, but for where they are in life, of showing up with sincerity only to be dismissed because they don't own the right house, drive the right car, or have the perfect setup. So yeah, I get it. If this is the standard, I wouldn't want to chase it. I'd rather stay single, keep my peace, and wait for someone who sees me as a person, not a provider checklist. Because real connection shouldn't feel like an audition for a role you didn't apply for.
So, do you like weather?
This might tick some people off, but you can't expect clarity from someone who avoids accountability. Clarity requires honesty, and honesty requires responsibility. If they can't take responsibility for how they show up, they aren't going to be clear about what they want or how they feel. They'll dodge, deflect, keep you questioning, because in part, your confusion protects them from having to be direct, which then leaves you to overthink, overanalyze, constantly search for signs, when the truth is already showing itself. They simply lack accountability. And with that, sometimes the most self-respecting thing to do is to stop asking for clarity from someone who benefits from your confusion.
This woman just dropped a truth bomb that needs to be heard. You cannot get clarity from someone who refuses accountability. And she's absolutely right. Clarity doesn't come from vague texts, mixed signals, or emotional runarounds. It comes from honesty. And honesty, that only exists where responsibility lives. If someone can't own how they show up, if they deflect, dodge, gaslight, or make you feel like you're the one overthinking, then they're not confused. They're protecting their freedom to avoid the truth. Your confusion becomes their shield. The more you question, analyze, and search for signs, the less they have to speak up. They don't need to say it's over. They just ghost emotionally, leave doors cracked, and let you spin in circles. And that's not just immature, it's manipulative. She's spot on. The most self-respecting thing you can do is stop asking for clarity from someone who profits from your uncertainty. Because the truth is already showing itself in their silence, their inconsistency, their refusal to face you head on. You don't need a 3-hour conversation to decode what their actions have already said. And I agree, if someone starts playing these games, call it out. Calmly, clearly. I don't like how this feels. Don't do it again. But if they do, if they keep you in the dark, keep you guessing, keep avoiding hard conversations, then it's time to walk. Not with anger, with silence, with strength. Because people who overstep aren't just testing your patience, they're testing your boundaries. They want to see how much you'll tolerate, how weak you'll become. And the strongest response isn't begging for answers. It's removing your energy from someone who only wants your attention, not your respect. So stand on your values, be confident in your worth, and never let someone's lack of courage become your lifelong confusion.
And I kind of don't want to. Here's the update. He's my boyfriend now.
Do I say something?
put yourself out there, not just on dating apps, but in real life, on social media, at events and spaces where you're doing what you love, because love doesn't usually find you when you're waiting in your room. It finds you when you're in motion, when you're confident, well-dressed, enjoying your own company, and open to connection, not begging for it, but allowing it. Take care of yourself, not to attract someone, but because you're worth it. That energy, it draws people in. And yes, it might take time. You might go on no dates for months, but the right person doesn't find you because you're chasing. They find you because you're becoming. So keep showing up, keep posting, keep going out, not for likes, not for validation, but because every time you step into the world, you're one moment away from a conversation that changes everything. Because love rarely comes when you're looking. It comes when you're living.